Hi guys, welcome to Rouszone.com. This is Mohit Soni, and what you can see in front of you is the Skoda Rapid. Yes, we've reviewed this car many times in the past in the same color, in the same spec, which is the Monte Carlo version that we have here. But this time it's absolutely special because what we are driving right now is the 1-liter TSI turbo petrol motor with the 6-speed manual gearbox. As always, let's begin with the design. Nothing has changed pretty much from the past. I think couple of months before with just before the world changed entirely, we drove the 1.6 petrol manual MPI. Sorry, it was the automatic. And now we're in the right space to tell you what the new turbo petrol is all about. It's down by 600 cc's when it compared to that. But let's again begin with the design. Nothing has changed. The Monte Carlo edition here gets good looking alloy wheels. This Monte Carlo badge is present here. The roof is black and so are the mirrors. You get this black spoiler, very German, very nice looking, despite it's a ZEC car. We know what it's based on, but yeah, it's one of the most attractive looking, especially in this shade of red color, sedans in the market right now. It's almost let's say 9 to 10 year old design with minimum changes done in 2017, and it's standing out even today really well. That's how timeless and classic designs Volkswagen makes, and all of us can say that yeah, the model is very old, but now you can understand the fact that when Volkswagen group design cars and Skoda design cars, they last for really long time. This platform is now pretty much proven, and so is this deep red paint scheme that is on offer. We've seen so many older cars that are also aging really well, so I think what's in the favor of the Skoda group and the Volkswagen group is that this now is a proven platform. It's got great design, it's doing really well. To my eyes also, it looks really great. The Skoda grille always impresses with its large fins. This very big headlamp cluster is something what I'm really liking, along with those LED DRLs which are looking great, but they're just a hint away from aftermarket, despite the fact that they are inbuilt at the Volkswagen factory itself. Let's step inside and let me immediately tell you what is aftermarket. Very specifically looks like one is the seat covers. They are not that great in terms of design or quality. Skoda needs to make sure that they replace the Monte Carlo seats with something else. You get rapid badged mats. The steering wheel looks very impressive. It's got this diamond piano black finish with aluminum inserts. Very German, very European. The new Skoda logo. What is a little bit again aftermarket here is the fact that this infotainment system here is good. It works well, but we've seen better systems in the Skoda Octavia. We would have preferred that to come here, but instead we are getting this here. Sound quality is also average when it comes to the sound system, the music, and it works well. It has its own glitches sometimes. When you start it, it may take a lot of time to start. Probably when you're a kilometer or two away, then only the screen starts up. That's a particular example that we faced. That's the glove box. USB placement still not in the right place. It should have been here, but what you get here is this very cool adjustable cup holder, 12-volt socket, things to keep here, and that is the space where you can keep a 1-liter bottle very easily. Those are power window switches, all up and all down automatically, and typical European car feel with that kind of feature. Electrical adjustment for the mirror, headlamp switch, and the same instrument cluster that's been on the car for quite some time. It's not got much of information also, but you can change the time and all of that. You can see kilometers. That's it. There's no fuel efficiency parameters here as well. Again the third aftermarket feel comes from this armrest. Not much of a space here, although it feels solid. Let me tell you what the boot is all about. It remains the same quite spacious, very large, very less intrusion is seen here. And now let me jump into the back of the car. Getting inside the car, you can see you get these again very aftermarket inspired pillows here with the leather wrap and double stitching. It looks good, but it just doesn't feel factory made. Sitting in the back behind my own driving position 511, and as you can see, just about this is the seat pushed all the way back. I still have enough knee room, very good headroom, good shoulder room. You get these blinds here which are manually adjusted. It's not the usual up and down, you have to remove them from here. It slots in here in this particular gap, and you get adjustable headrests here, light and AC vents, which also has cup holder here and a 12-volt socket. Overall, this is how the cabin feels like in this particular Monte Carlo spec. Like I told you about this infotainment system, you can see it could tell you which door is open, but it's an Android based aftermarket system. Doesn't look that great. It does not just does not fit right in this car. The previous systems have been a little old, but at least they've felt right. This doesn't feel in place. The AC controls is here. It's got automatic climate control, and that's it. So when it comes to driving the Skoda Rapid here, this is the new 1-liter TSI turbo petrol motor, which is a 3-cylinder unit, and that comes mated to a 6-speed manual, and it will also come with a 6-speed automatic very soon. This replaces the 1.2 TSI, and it has the exact same power and torque figures, which is a great move by Skoda India. And what we can tell you, let's begin with the NVH, because since it's a 3-cylinder motor, we like to tell you the fact that there is a bit of noise at idle in the cabin, but again not intrusive. When you redline the car, when you're driving enthusiastically, you will hear a bit of the engine, but it again not intrusive or annoying, or it does not take away any joy or any cabin silence that does not allow you to be comfortable inside. And obviously the noise also is not that great, but it does sound slightly sporty if you want it to believe it. Mostly some 3-cylinder engines do make a noise that is something that you get used to, and sometimes you do rather enjoy as well. Let's talk about the drivability part. Well, it's got a good low end and mid range. It's got an excellent low and mid range power and torque. The way the power comes in and the way it's delivered is something very easy and forgiving. There's a surge of torque that comes around 1500 rpm, and then the linear power delivery makes sure that it's easier to use, and drivability in the city is excellent. Low down torque, mid-range torque is excellent. Top end power is good, could be a bit more better. It does slow down a bit. It does not rush with the same urgency that it did earlier in the 1.2, which was also not known to have great top end power. But then turbo engines are always about low end and mid range torque with good top end power. It's not that it's seriously down on top end performance. It's got a 180-190 kilometer an hour top speed, and it does reaches 120-140 kilometers an hour fairly quickly. This car has a 0 to 100 time of under 10 seconds, which is just around 10 seconds in our testing, to be precise, and that's a very fast car for you're getting for this price tag. Like I said, the NVH levels are good. The soundtrack could be good to you if you start believing and start getting used to it. Let's talk about the clutch and the gearbox. It's a standard Volkswagen Group clutch where it's a bit long and springy. It can get cumbersome in heavy traffic, but if you are stuck in heavy traffic all the time, then we suggest you look at the automatic itself. But if you are an enthusiast who just tries to have fun, well, the manual gearbox is something you'll get to used to very easily. The gear throws are very short. They're very slick. The gearbox is very forgiving. You can downshift really hard, and um, it does not throw you away. It does not throw away your confidence either. And let's talk about the steering. I think it's a bit too precise. It's a little too fast for my liking. It does get heavy at parking speeds a bit, but it's not cumbersome at all. um, Once you start driving around 10 to 20 kilometers an hour, the steering frees up, and then you can drive in the city easily. You can take turns and u-turns, and it won't be much of a problem. And the feedback and the precision and the way it gets heavy at high speeds is very impressive. The brakes are really good. We are still not getting disc brakes at the back, but there is ample stopping power on offer. It feels very confident while braking. The tires also support that aspect. And pedal bite is also very good. We thought this sportier car deserved, disc brakes at the back. It could have been a bit more better and bit more sporty if we had a much more tighter pedal bite, and disc brakes at the back just can solve that problem easily. But we'll wait for some day to that to happen. In terms of fuel economy, you can expect 12 to 13 in the city and 16 to 17 on the highway. But just like a naturally aspirated engines and other engines, if you start pushing the car a lot, you can expect the fuel economy to go down, let's say till 10 kilometers per liter. And overall, with the 45 liter fuel tank, you should get 300 3 of 3 to 4 350 to 400 kilometers in one tank, I think, which is very impressive for a city car, which can also do highway runs really well, because on the highway it's very impressive, very stable, very good. Ride quality is excellent. Body roll is bare minimum. It's a really fun to drive car. You'll enjoy this car and won't even realize it has a 1 liter 3-cylinder engine. All the magic, of course, lies in the turbo, which is the turbocharged motor. So finally, after testing the 1 liter TSI motor, after a really long time waiting for it for almost 6 years, we've been begging the Volkswagen Group to bring this engine here. They've finally done that. We're really happy that it has happened. And Skoda Rapid remains one of the best sedans in the country right now, with its ride and handling, with its engine here. Obviously the interiors could have been a bit more better, and to negate that, you can go to the style variant, which should offer you much more better interiors. And a better head unit also was expected. But nevertheless, apart from that, I think this car is going to shake up the enthusiast segment. Enthusiasts have been deprived of old school fun to drive cars in this segment. There have been hatchbacks, but there have not been sedans. I think this car is going to ace that area, and become one of the friendliest and the top two choices in the country when it comes to buying a enthusiast friendly sedan. I think that is it. Thank you so much for watching our video. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel, notify yourself with the notification button on, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.